Hey everyone! So today I'm going to do a random facts type video. I've done these in the past, but it's been a long time since I've done one. I really enjoy watching other people's videos like this, so I thought I would do one since it's been quite a while since I've done one of these. So let's get right into it then. These are just some random facts about me, and I'm going to have to read a little bit off of a piece of paper in front of me so that I can remember what all the things were. Number one, I have a wicked sweet tooth. I love cake, ice cream, candy, anything like that, and I have to constantly fight the urge to not eat things like that because it's really not good for you. I spent my entire childhood eating vast amounts of all that stuff, and I didn't feel good a lot of the time, and I think that was why. Not to mention, you know, I was probably had like nutritional deficiencies and stuff because I wasn't eating right. I can remember when it was time to eat a meal, you know, I would sit down at the supper table and I would just kind of push my food around because I wasn't hungry because I had been eating crap earlier on. Of course, sometimes my mom knew about it and sometimes she didn't. I think I hid it from her quite a bit. But yeah, I have a terrible sweet tooth. Okay, number two, I was very shy as a child, and I find that highly ironic that here I am years later, somebody who didn't even feel comfortable talking to people at all, and, you know, would hide behind my mother and father if we would go visit relatives or something, and now here I am years later sitting in front of a camera talking to over 4,000 people. So how ironic is that? Number three, I love learning about other cultures and I love traveling. A lot of you know, because I have talked about this in a recent video, that Once Upon a Time and Vegas are the two TV shows that I watch consistently. Well, now there's a third one. I've started watching Rick Steves' travel program where he just goes around the world and goes to different countries and learns about their culture and shows you the scenery, and I have been enjoying that so much. I know that program has been on for a long time on PBS, but I don't know, I had just never seen it, and I've been really enjoying that. If I could, I would love to travel to all these places, but I can't because it's very expensive to travel, and physically I have so many different things going on now physically that traveling is pretty much out of the question. Okay, number four. When I was younger, I wanted to be an actress or a singer or both, and I never pursued any of that because I think you pretty much have to come from money in order to really seriously pursue that, because otherwise it would be very difficult to try and have a regular job to support yourself plus go out on auditions and audition for parts and so forth at the same time. And anybody who does that, wow, that's really hard. And I think a lot of it is luck too. It's just a case of being at the right place at the right time. And so yeah, but I really wanted to be an actress or a singer when I was younger. Okay, number five. My very first job that I ever had was working at a factory putting together disposable flashlights. I lasted a week and I couldn't take it anymore and I quit. I remember we had to put the pieces together. You would pick up the pieces and put the flashlight together and then put it on a moving assembly belt, and it would get to the end of the belt and fall into a box, all the ones that were done. And you had to be able to put together so many per hour, and it was nerve-wracking. And you know, I tried so hard, and no matter how hard I tried, I could not get it together within the time frame that I was allowed. You know, I just found it very stressful, and I thought, oh my God, I cannot do this the rest of my life. So I quit. Number 6. When I was in high school, I used to help my algebra teacher teach the class. I just found algebra to be a very easy thing for me. And so there were a lot of kids that were really struggling with that class. So the teacher divided it in half and she gave me half the students, and I got to be sort of a substitute teacher for that class. It was really fun. I enjoyed it. But the irony of that is I was never good at basic math. Just like basic math, like multiplication tables and things like that. I barely passed those classes when I was in the younger grades, and I always found the maths like algebra and geometry and things like that to be pretty easy for me, but simple basic math, I always struggled with that. So I don't know, just the way my brain works, I guess. Number 7, I used to be able to speak French. I took 3 years of that in school, and I used to be able to speak it pretty well by the time I finished the 3rd year. And with foreign languages, if you don't use them, you forget. And so now I can't speak it at all. And if you were to leave like a comment in French, I would have to use some kind of translator to translate it, because now I've completely forgotten everything that I ever learned. However, it has come in handy when trying to pronounce the names of products by Chanel, Le Métier de Beauté, Guerlain, things like that. So it has come in handy with that anyway. Number 8. I started doing videos on YouTube because I had injured my back seriously, and I was trying to recover from my back injury, and I was going out of my mind because I was basically just sitting in a chair for months and months, and I couldn't really walk too well. And so I started watching YouTube videos, and I came across the beauty ones, and I was like, wow, that looks like so much fun. So I started my own channel, and here we are, years later, I'm still doing it. Okay, number 9. My father's family all came from Canada, and they were born in Canada and lived there, and they came to the United States when they were, I think, teenagers, somewhere around there. But they both were from Prince Edward Island, which is the smallest province in Canada. And so I'm sort of half Canadian when it comes to my heritage. And they spent so many generations in Canada that I could never trace them back beyond Canada because they were there for so long. Number, what was I on? 10. I used to work at Borders Bookstore. I worked there for a few years, and I love to read. I have a huge book collection, but since I've gotten older, I have found that my attention span is not that good. So I don't read as often as I used to, but I'm trying to get back into it, and I have read a few books here and there over the last year or so, but yeah, I really need to be more disciplined about that because I've got so many books. And it's funny because even though I have a huge book collection, I still find myself wanting to read a specific book that I don't have, and then I go to the library and get it, even though I've got lots to pick from right here. My favorite books are all non-fiction type books, but I do read fiction as well. But I do like to read. Okay, I'm just gonna stop it right there because I don't want this video to go on too long, but so I hope you found some of that interesting, and I'll see you next time. Bye.